Scaredy the magical Myotonia Congenita cat scientist. Hi, I'm Scaredy the cat, and I am a magical Myotonia Congenita kitten scientist. Wow, that is a mouthful. I might be small, but I probably know more science than you. Wait, is that bragging? I'm getting off track. Whatever. Anyway, Myotonia Congenita, which is a problem that causes me to faint or become stiff when something startles me, hence, Scaredy cat. I know, it's hilarious. You might be wondering how I am magical. I was born with magical powers. That's another story later. And I have the ability to make people sleep whenever and wherever they are. I know, it is a weird power. It comes in handy though, when I want to sneak some extra food, or sneak into the toilet bowl, or play with the fish my owner keeps on top of his desk in his bedroom. You might also be wondering how I am a scientist. Because of my problem, I have been trying to find a way to knock some sense or talk to my owner about my problem, because he will not stop treating me like a baby. I have been learning about why I have this problem and read thousands and thousands of books on why I have this. I have also been experimenting on how to go into somebody's dream. I needed this just in case one day my owner decided to do the worst thing he could possibly do. Take me to the vet. See, for years, my owner babied me way too much and acted like there was something horribly wrong with me. He carried me everywhere and watched me all the time. Yesterday, the day had finally come. He said, "I'm going to take you to the vet tomorrow to get tested." So tonight, I am going to go into his dream and teach him a couple things about my disorder. Want to join? Great, let's go. Okay, this is the moment of truth. I already put my owner to sleep. Will I be able to go into his dream though? I am going to use this magical spell along with the research I did. Dreams, dreams, good and bad. Don't be scared, don't be sad. Into the dream of my owner I go, to teach my homie, my bro, of why I trip, why I fall, and why I sometimes have to crawl. Because my legs stop working, my arms stiffen, this darn problem will not be forgiven. Oh wow, it worked! Yay! Now everything I say, my owner will hear in his dream. So let's start with the basics. We need to start with DNA. I have DNA. You have DNA too. DNA is what holds genetic information and determines our looks and characteristics. It is found in cells, which are the smallest structures that are able to function in an organism. Organisms are any living thing, including you and me. DNA are found in cells, which make up organisms. Okay, so how did the DNA get inside of me? Well, when I was a very, very, very tiny kitten inside of my mommy's stomach, in order to make me, I was made up of DNA information from my mom and from my dad. Genetic information was passed down from my parents to me. I was the result of sexual reproduction, which is just a fancy term when two parents come together to produce offspring. Next, I am going to show you what DNA looks like, because it is very, very important. DNA is made up of three things, which are pentose, phosphate, and a nitrogenous base. Pentose is a sugar. There are two kinds of nitrogenous bases, purines and pyrimidines. This entire thing is called a nucleotide, so if you think of it, it is kind of like a mix and match. Oh no! What is happening? My owner is dreaming about something else. What could it be? Oh my god, he's dreaming about taking me to the vet! That means he's so confused. Now he's dreaming about DNA, and now he's confused about purines and pyrimidines, and if you can have both in one DNA nucleotide. Is the answer yes or no? Help me get it right so that he will stop dreaming about the vet. Whew, thank goodness you got it right. The answer was no. Okay, that was scary, but we're going to move on now. We're going straight to mutations. I'm first going to talk about genes. No, not the pants, owner, please. Genes. Genes are parts of DNA. Mutations are changes that can happen in a gene or in the DNA in general. So how do you know if you have a mutation? Usually there is a physical difference between a normal organism and a mutated organism, meaning there are changes on the outside. Sometimes there are mutations that affect the brain and how you act. I have Myotonia Congenita, which is a mutation, so the gene that is affected is the CLCN1 gene. This mutation makes me look different from other cats. Other cats can run around, walk, jump, and even climb trees. The sad thing is, I can't. Because of my mutation, my muscles are affected, causing them to have a slow relaxation time. Therefore, I become stiff randomly when I'm scared or startled or make any sudden movements. It can happen anywhere, but it usually happens in my legs. It isn't painful, thank goodness, but it affects my physical activity. I've never felt left out though. I'd rather study science than run around. I'm kind of a book nerd. Remember when I said that mutations are in genes? Well, the gene that is affected is the CLCN1 gene. This gene makes a protein called... Wait, what's happening? Guys, my owner is waking up. My magic is wearing off. Quick, say this spell with me. Sleep, 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 dream about the sheep. Sleep, 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 dream about the sheep. Okay, phew. Thanks, guys. We need to hurry this up now, before my owner wakes up, because my magical powers will soon run out if I use them too much. Like I was saying, this gene makes a protein called a chloride channel protein. Proteins are made up of amino acids. Proteins are important because it is used for many things in the body, such as building tissue, bones, muscles, cartilage, skin, and blood. This protein makes up a channel in my cell membrane and is made up of two parts. Muscles have to contract in a pattern in order to work right. Contractions and relaxations are caused by the flow of ions inside and out of the body. Think of it like a slide, and this channel controls the amount of ions or people can fit in the slide. The channel helps to stabilize electrical charge among the cells, which controls the muscles' contractions. Because my gene is mutated, the protein is affected, and this affects the channel. The structure and function is changed, and the channel cannot control how many ions go in. Not enough ions go in, and the contractions become too dragged out, which causes my muscles to tense up. Transcription. There are many enzymes which speed up reactions involved in transcription. It begins in the nucleus by basically copying the DNA onto something called RNA. It is a copy because it is safer so that the DNA will not be attacked and thought to be a virus. A copy of something is always better. For example, if you have a copy, you won't lose it, ruin it, or have anything bad happen to it. So how transcription works is this. Think of it like a vet office. Transcription happens in the nucleus, so the vet's office would be the nucleus. It always starts with helicase, which unwinds the DNA. Think of it this way. The nurse is the helicase because they go through the files to see who their next victims are. Next, the RNA polymerase, which are the scary secretaries, puts the RNA nucleotides, which are the names of the patients, with the correct files, which are the DNA. And then after that, the copies of the files are made, which is the mRNA. And that's transcription. It's simple, isn't it? Now let's talk about the good old translation. Translation is basically translating the mRNA into a polypeptide to make the proteins. Translation happens in the cytoplasm, and we can compare this to the dreaded medicine lab. You need to know what codons, ribosomes, and tRNA is before we talk about translation. Codons are 3 letters in mRNA that code for a specific amino acid, and ribosomes, along with RNA, build polypeptides, while tRNA hold anticodons, or the opposite of codons. Okay, so the doctor, which is the tRNA, and the copied files, which are the mRNA, and the ribosomes, which are the scientists who are making the medicine, come together. Inside the copied files are important medical information about each patient, which are the codons. The tRNA, aka the doctor, pairs the codon with an anticodon, which are the matching personal information about the patients. If we are technical, the mRNA moves the codons, and the tRNA with the anticodon pairs with the right codons to make the specific amino acids from each coding. Finally, a stop codon is produced when the coding is done. And all of these amino acids make up a full protein. So how are proteins and mutations connected? Well, you see, there are many different types of mutations. There are 2 major groups, gene or point mutations and chromosomal mutations. It's simple. Gene and point mutations are smaller and happen in a specific gene, while chromosomal mutations are usually more noticeable and affect a larger portion of DNA. Chromosomal mutations. There are 4 types of chromosomal mutations. Sometimes a section of DNA can be duplicated, deleted, inverted, or translocated. Gene mutations. These include a substitution, insertion, or a deletion. Inside these gene mutations, there are 3 classified groups: silent, missense, and nonsense. Silent mutations are when the DNA coding is wrong, but it creates the same amino acid, so nothing is affected. Think of it like if somebody used a recipe incorrectly to make cat food, yum, resulting in the wrong cat food that was made. It's still cat food and I can still happily eat it. Okay, the next one is nonsense. Nonsense is when a stop codon is made too early, causing the protein to be shortened and incomplete. What nonsense, am I right? So what type of mutation is Myotonia Congenita? Well, Myotonia Congenita is a point missense mutation. Point mutation, that means it occurs on one nucleotide base and affects one gene. And a missense mutation is when the DNA coding is wrong and creates the wrong amino acid, which affects the entire thing. See, if somebody was supposed to make cat food from the recipe, yum, but made dog food, I would be very angry. So, because the DNA coding is wrong, the wrong amino acid is made, which means the wrong protein is made. This changes the channel structure and function, causing me this nuisance of falling over. Owner, do you get it? Yay! Okay guys, I'm going to get out of the dream now and say this magical spell again. Dreams, dreams, good and bad. Don't be scared, don't be sad. Out of the dream of my owner I go, that taught my homie, my bro, of why I trip, why I fall, and why I sometimes have to crawl. Because my legs stop working, my arms stiffen, this darn problem will not be forgiven. Okay, my owner is awake. Pretend nothing happened.
Did you just talk to me in my dream? Because I had a really weird dream about the sciencey stuff, and I think I may know why you have this problem. I'm a genius! Wow, we don't have to go to the vet.
Yeah, I did. Wait, owner? Guys, he fainted. Guess that means that I'm not the only one who has Myotonia Congenita.